Welcome to Dulcimoon Talks.
Where music, connection, and inspiration meet.
I'm DJ Hamouris.
And I'm Erin Mae Lewis.
Together, we're your hosts for these beautiful conversations that celebrate the vibrant women of the dulcimer community.
Since June of 2022, Dulcimoon Talks have brought you into the lives and stories of extraordinary women, leaders, teachers, producers, and artists who are shaping and sharing the art of the dulcimer in unique ways.
Our guests come from all walks of life. Many balance their passion for dulcimers with careers far outside the music world, yet they all share one thing: a deep love for the dulcimer and the joy it brings to teaching, practicing, performing, and creating.
Each episode is an intimate journey exploring personal musical paths, sources of inspiration, and the beautiful ways dulcimers weave into our lives. Think of it as the kind of meaningful conversation you'd have while sharing a meal at a festival. A mix of insight, laughter, and heartfelt connection.
Whether you're a long-time dulcimer enthusiast or just curious about this amazing world, Dulcimoon Talks are here to inspire, inform, and delight.
We release new talks twice monthly and are thrilled to have you on this journey with us. Make sure to subscribe and join the growing community as we honor the magic of dulcimers and the people who make them sing.
Dulcimoon Talks, sharing stories,
celebrating connections,
keeping the music alive. Welcome to Dulcimoon Talk number 70. I'm DJ Hamouris, and I'm really pleased to be talking with Carolyn Cruso of the Pacific Northwest, a hammer dulcimer teaching artist. Welcome, Carolyn.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's so exciting to have new folks on this list, on these events, when I haven't met you yet in person, so I get to find all about you while we tell everybody else. So you're playing hammer dulcimer, and you're in the Pacific Northwest. Tell our viewers where you are exactly.
I'm in Washington State, and I'm in the San Juan Islands, up in the northwest corner of Washington.
You're almost in Vancouver, aren't you?
That's right. Almost in
Vancouver, BC, not
That's
Vancouver, right. Washington. Yeah. Yeah, that area of the Northwest is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And especially right now, getting on spring, everything's green, with the occasional snowfall, right?
Well, in the mountains, maybe, yeah.
Okay. That's great. So we like to know everything about you and how you got involved in being a touring musical artist, teaching musical artist. What was your inspiration for all of that?
Well, how did I get to be introduced to the hammer dulcimer? And as a teen, I just, of course, into music, like every teen is. But I was specifically into music from around the world. Ethnomusicology, if you will. I didn't know that was a term back then, but that's what I was doing. So I would just go to the library and I would find all these cool albums and I'd bring them home. And so that made me more open to folk music, obviously. And I grew up in New York State in the Hudson River Valley. And we have, of course, the Hudson River Valley, what do they call it? Folk Festival. I think they call it the Clearwater Hudson River Valley Folk Festival. But that's a big event, and it wasn't far from where I lived. I went there. I can't remember if it was the first time or the second time. I think it was the first time. And I heard this beautiful music. I had no idea what it was, but it was so beautiful, and I literally just went sort of running towards it, sort of completely entranced. And there were these guys there with these instruments that they had made. These hammer dulcimers are sitting on a table. They told me about them, and that was my first experience.
Wow.
And I didn't start playing them right away, but a few years later, I lived on a farm in Vermont for part of a year, and one of the women there had made one from a kit. So I tried her hammer dulcimer. Of course, I really liked that. And then finally, about another, I don't know, 4 or 5 years later, I ended up in Seattle, Washington, at the Pike Place Market for the very first time in my life, and there was this hammer dulcimer duo playing there called Common Ground, and they were amazing, and I loved it. And it wasn't very long after that I took up the hammer dulcimer. I'd already played flute and guitar and singing, so it wasn't like I was coming to it from complete lack of music.
Hmm.
So it was somewhat easy to pick up.
Was there a particular kind of ethnicity to the music that drew you, or the sound, or how they played together? What was it?
That's a good question. Well, it was the sound for sure, and
Mm.
but they were playing pretty. They were from Pennsylvania, so they were playing really straight Appalachian music, which I love. And I was already really interested in Irish music, and so then there were, there they were Appalachian music is basically derivative from Irish music, a little bit of a different style there, but so it just all spoke to me, and it was just feeding this whole interest I had for folk music and ethnic music from really all over the world. And I just like the rhythmic aspect of it too, because I love percussion.
Hmm.
I love
Okay.
to move my body to music in a percussive way, and I like to play drums, even though I haven't really ever studied percussion. Although when you play the hammer dulcimer, you just that's all about rhythm, right? As well as
It
melody.
is.
Mm.
Absolutely. And very much, having to be able to do the right hand and the left hand separately, and to be able to not only hit the right string at the right time, but also to have the right kind of bounce to it,
Yeah.
and having discovering what kind of hammers you like to use.
Hmm.
There's something for each of these instruments that is very specific to the players, right?
Right. Hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. And you might have a special type of instrument, excuse me, hammers that you like to use, like say specific type of maker that really speaks to you, that you feel comfortable with them, that balance is right, the bounce is right. And within that, you've got many different things glued to the wooden part to give you different tones. And
Mm-hmm.
you can interchange based on the type of piece you're going to play. Maybe you want something really quiet. You're going to go with something that has kind of some thick padding, or maybe you want something that's really going to be loud and bouncy and bright, and then you go with just straight
Mm-hmm.
wood, and so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth.
Yeah. Yeah. I once was talking with someone who said, critics talk about the the flow of the music or how they were transported about it, and then the musicians themselves talk about the strings and the repair people they like, and how they had to alter something to work for them on their instrument that was very specific. That's the sort of thing that I like to get into sometimes. It's like, in order to make the music the way we like, we have to figure out all the other stuff,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. The tilt of your hammer dulcimer, how tall, how low. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, about what year were you? How old were you when you started actually playing?
When I started actually playing, I think it was about 23.
Okay.
Maybe it was
A-
24, somewhere in there.
And what kind of music were you playing before that?
Well, I mean, I started out with flute, so you learn classical music, you play in the band, you play in the orchestra. Um, I also liked playing with my friends, just improvising, jamming. I found out kind of late in the game that my flute teacher was also played jazz. So finally, for like the last half year of my senior year, we worked on improvisation and some theory, and that was super helpful.
Great.
I wish I had found out about that sooner. We could spend more time on that, but it is what it is. And so a lot of improvisation, and I like to make stuff up, and I like birds. I like to mimic birds, so I like to do that with both whistling and playing the flute. So, um, but then when I came to the hammer dulcimer, um, I just wanted to learn how to play it, and I wanted to learn whatever was there. And of course, it was going to be that standard Appalachian tunes, old timey tunes, which I did learn. And even though I really like that music, it turns out what I'm better at playing is the Irish stuff and the Scottish
Mm.
stuff.
Hmm.
It just works. I play that better, and so that's what I've leaned towards in terms of traditional music. Although I've done some exploration of Bulgarian music and other
Mm.
Eastern European music. I like Scandinavian music. I like to mess around with African inspired rhythms. I like the Middle Eastern sounds. So I've experimented with those kinds of scales because they're set up a little bit differently than ours. And um, so just, and then kind of, sometimes I just merge that all together and it turns into whatever it is that is my original music,
Ah, okay. So you mess around until you find something you like and you want to do again and make into a composition.
Yeah, exactly. I do a lot of improvising, and then if something seems like that has potential, then it's like a seed, and you try to cultivate it. You plant it,
Mm-hmm.
you water it, you prune it, you fertilize it, and hopefully you come up with a
Yeah,
piece. Yeah.
that's wonderful. Are you working with any particular bands or individuals at this point?
Not at this point. I worked with my partner Robert for many years, and we were a duo, and we both picked up the hammer dulcimer at the same time.
Hmm.
And he had already, like, I came, like I said, with flute and guitar and singing. He came with guitar, singing, and mandolin,
Hmm.
and so we taught ourselves how to play. Um, and then whatever I learned, I taught him, and whatever he learned, he taught me. So it went along pretty quickly at first. And we were playing the traditional tunes, but we were also making up our own stuff, and people liked it, and so that just kept us going more and more. And we had a really nice thing going on for quite a number of years. Um, but this is quite a long time back, but he died in 1997.
Hmm.
And so from there, I went on continuing, along the path that we had set up, but mostly solo. I played with other people, but not on a regular basis, partly just
Mhm.
because it's a lot of work to keep a band together and make sure everyone gets paid and there's rehearsals and everyone gets housed when you're on the road and gets along with each other and stuff. So I've done it more like for special shows or for short tours.
Mhm.
Um, and with a variety of other instrumentalists, other hammer dulcimer players, bass players, guitar players, keyboard players. I have a friend who also plays drums, but he has this really cool sort of ethno set that instead of the bass drum, he has a big calabash,
Oh my.
and it sounds really good. And then he has like chimes and little shaky like the goat toenail things from South America, and it just has created this. He could just do a regular trap set, but then he can do this more ethnic sounding one that's perfect for a lot of the things that I do.
Wow.
Or people who play hand drums like doumbeks or um, what are the big ones called? Djembes.
The what?
Djembes. It's a big African
Oh,
drum.
djembe. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
djembes. I love djembes.
Or
Yeah.
frame drums that you play with your hands like that.
Hmm. Right.
So yeah, that kind of
So
thing.
you, so you really are into percussion.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and the hammer dulcimer is so percussive. When I was first taught about piano in college, they say we really consider it a percussion instrument. And I went, "You got to be kidding me, right? I mean, it's so melodic." But I began to understand that, and when I saw the hammer dulcimer, I went, "Those are piano innards, and and the person is the hammers."
Yeah, it's like a manual.
Yeah,
Manual
yeah.
transmission.
Yeah, so
Yup,
then it
exactly.
finally made sense to me. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
so
when you,
sometimes I like to try to make the dulcimer sound like a piano as well. So back to the hammers with here it is, hammers with different things glued to them, the wood. I have a set that has a thick piece of felt on it, which is basically what piano hammers have.
yeah,
When I use those hammers, then the dulcimer really sounds a lot like a piano, and then that kind of feeds into the way you you're creating something so that it has more of a piano feel. And the more we've gotten into sort of separating our hands for different parts, which is can't quite do it the same as piano because you only have two hammers and pianos have five fingers on each hand. So we do join each other, but usually your left hand is playing more melody and your right hand's playing more backup.
Hmm,
Um,
okay.
then it can sound more and more piano-like as you go. Not that I always want the dulcimer to sound piano-like, but I sometimes do. And some of my inspirations, some of the people that inspired me are piano players like Barbara Higbee, who you might know from the Bay Area, actually. I love her piano playing style, and I loved what she did with the band Montreux.
Hmm.
Very inspired by that. And then I don't know if you've ever heard of Jessica Williams. She was a really great jazz pianist who was living in Seattle, and her style really spoke to me. It was very uh, impressionistic.
Mm. Mm. Debussy and the like.
But jazz.
Yeah. Oh, but jazz.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, she would play standards, but she wrote her own stuff too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how you can take an instrument and be inspired by another one and use that to incorporate into your own sound. And what you're talking to me about is about using the sounds you find you get on the instrument to inspire you to do the music that inspires you.
Hmm.
Does
Yeah.
that sound about right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great combo.
It is. Yeah. Just get to explore and see what happens. And sometimes it
Mhm.
doesn't go anywhere. Other times it's like, oh, okay. Sometimes you just spend all that time exploring and it doesn't go anywhere and you think, well, that was a waste of time. But then when it comes time for, okay, this is the moment, everything you did in the beginning that didn't really work out prepared you to be ready for that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you work with students?
Yes, I have quite a few students, not just hammer dulcimer students, but yes, hammer dulcimer students. But also I teach guitar and ukulele. Occasionally have a flute student.
Mm-hmm.
Songwriting sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So you write songs as well.
I'm a singer songwriter. I play guitar and
Oh, sweet.
make up songs, and
Do you have albums of that?
I do. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'll make sure Erin May puts I think we already have your website on the description, but I'll make sure Erin gets it in there too for in the chat and stuff because we want to drive people to our artists who are donating their time to let us know more about the world of creativity in the dulcimer world, the dulcimer community.
It's a bit of an eclectic um, little slice of the pie, isn't it?
It is. It
Hmm.
is.
Hmm.
We love I'll just talk about myself. I mean, I started Dulcimoon because I felt all these online festivals and all of this online activity. There was certainly room for a smaller online festival that focused on um, women teachers and players and composers and folks who had been working behind the scenes for many years in the music world, in the dulcimer community. And it's proven to be a really good thing for all of us. We like having women teachers, and but everybody's invited to come, and we even do youth events because when you have Erin May involved, the youth are involved.
Hmm.
She has an online youth club
Oh,
for dulcimer clubs, so it's so the niche within the niche within the niche. It's like the dulcimers. Why hammer dulcimer and mountain dulcimer? What's the same? What's different? It doesn't matter. We call it dulcimers. We've ended up together in dulcimer festivals, and for whatever reason, and I think it works for all of us.
hmm.
You know, I wanted to ask you when you do you go into a conscious creative moment? Do you make a time and say, Wednesday, 2 to 5, I'm not doing nothing else but messing around with my instrument. I have some ideas, I want to work it out, or is it spontaneous? How does that work for you, your creative time?
Um, that would be nice. But currently, I just have a lot on my plate, so it doesn't quite work like that. But what I do is when I come to my instrument, ready to do a practice session, which I do, most days. I'm really I've got to do practice session on hammer dulcimer and flute and guitar and voice. So, but at any rate, I make sure that I do some improvising before I start, practicing, and just see where that takes me. And I really enjoy doing that. Sometimes I'll record it, so because I want to, be able to get back to that without having to write stuff down. I don't really write much down. It's mostly just memorizing. Um, and it's just so much fun, even if it doesn't turn into anything. I just enjoy that time of being open, exploring, and using my ear and finding where I can go and seeing what comes out that particular day. It's almost like, if people get up and do yoga, get up and do improvising on the hammer dulcimer, oral yoga.
So you
But
find it kind of centering to start with the improv.
yeah, I do. I do.
Okay.
And then, I will improvise on it. I will, excuse me, practice my scales. Maybe I'll practice my scales sometimes first, and then once I feel like I've warmed up, then I'll improvise in that key.
Mm-hmm.
But then when pieces come from that, then of course I'm going to keep working on them, because
Right.
there's one, like, okay, getting inspiration, courting it, if you will, and like hoping something comes and being ready for that. But then there's the hard work of literally just, getting in there and editing or uh, tweaking, uh, developing is really more the word, coming up with various parts. I got this part, now where does it go next? Well, I'm going to go somewhere different now for my bridge, and then come back. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and that takes time too, which is a little bit of a different type of creative process than just
Yeah.
hoping, woo, I'm going to go exploring and I'm going to find this really cool, whatever, leaf or shell, or well, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, I've worked with several songwriting coaches, writing coaches in general, and there's this phrase that I've heard a lot, which is to kill your darlings,
Oh yeah.
which basically means you created something, a really cool line, vocal line, or a really cool series of lyrics, but eventually it just doesn't all fit, and you have to let that go so that you can finish the music, the song. Do
Right.
you find yourself running into that?
Um, More, I would say, in a lyric writing capacity. And sometimes what I've done to help me get that sort of objective perspective is to, just for a moment, like, write the whole thing or sing the whole thing in the first person. I mean, not in the first person, excuse me. Say it's in first person. Then to change it to not first person and be like, oh, that's so clear. I do not need this verse. That's just
Huh.
me. When it wasn't me anymore, it was like, oh, get rid of that. Don't need that. Or play it for some people. As soon as you play it for people, you're like, why do I have this verse here? Or why do I have that one? I get it now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but that just, again, it's that perspective,
Hmm. Hmm.
because you're in your little room and you're in your little head, and but it's fun. It's a fun process.
It is a fun process, and it's one that I think helps to keep us younger,
Mhm.
frankly,
Yeah.
because we're always looking. We're just exploring either the world around us or the world within us, right?
Yeah. Engaging. Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So you write songs for your
Oh yeah,
dulcimer?
yeah.
Hmm.
I not just dulcimer, but yeah, I do.
You play guitar
Uh,
too?
I play just my dulcimers, but I have a baritone and a chromatic as well as a diatonic. So I have the ability to do more than I have, but they all act as good companions
Hmm.
to the music that I'm choosing to do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm very interested in how someone like you goes through getting the multiple instruments. I mean, when you come up with something, do you find yourself saying, "Oh, this should really be on my flute," or or this would flow better on my guitar. Do you find yourself doing that?
Not so much. It's more like, oh, this would work. This would be cool with the guitar backup, or this song would be great with some flute on it. More like how they would work together.
Do you do your own recording?
No, but I when I've gone in the studio, I've done multi-tracking of me playing the hammer dulcimer, me playing the flute, or maybe penny whistles.
Right.
Other people come in and do certain tracks, but then I might do more than one track on one piece.
Okay. Okay.
Like we got into this whole thing of doing penny whistle harmonies for a while, and that was really fun.
That sounds like fun. That
Yeah,
sounds like
well,
fun.
some of them are just like about this big, and they're very ear piercing.
I know. I
You
know.
have to put the earplugs in, but it comes out really nice.
I've been at big jams where you have all these instruments, and if anybody's playing penny whistle, it hits above everybody. You never miss a penny whistle. So, are you working on any projects right now, or do you have any projects that you feel really strongly about, that they were work you're really, really proud about or happy to have gotten out into the world?
Yeah, I have quite a few recordings that I made with Robert, and also that I made solo, that I'm really proud of. I think they came out really well. They were well received. I really am due for two new albums, one a singer-songwriter album, one a solo instrumentalist album, which would be mostly dulcimer, but maybe one flute and one guitar. But I just my life is not quite set up for that currently, so that's still on the back burner, but it'll happen. And in the meantime, what I've been doing, and I think you mentioned that was one of the things you like to talk about with people, is like, well, we do other things too. So I am an environmental educator and naturalist. And so one of the things I've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years is developing a whole program at our elementary school, which is an outdoor education thing with all these classes, all this curriculum that we do for the grades K through 5. And that has been super creative, because creating curriculum is just super fun. I love it so much, because you want it to be, it's not just information. It's like, how are we going to make this information in activities that are going to be very hands-on, very experiential, fun for the kids, and that they'll actually, retain this information. And then to have it be like this whole program. So that's been the project that I've actually been working on for the last few years, and that's taken up a lot of my time and energy, which I'm very pleased with.
Yeah, that education bit, both putting the curriculum together and then seeing your students of any age, how they take that in, what they do with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
ages are you working with?
so we have the younger, we split it up into 2 grades, parts of the program, younger and older. So I'm doing third, fourth, and fifth. And so we were just out all day this morning, and we had 3 classes. One was creative writing with science themes. One was, creating we call it micro trails, but you create a transect like a scientist would do, and then you go and look at all the things that are in that, meter, or it could be 2 by 2 feet, and you put little flags and you write about them and you share it with your peers,
Sweet.
and then you can look at things through a microscope as well. And my class was insects, so we were running around overturning rocks and using a sweep net and getting all kinds of cool creatures, and there was lots of screeching and yelling and excitement about, oh, I got this, I got this, I got that. Kids saying the word gastropod and whatnot. So
That's a fun word.
it is. So yeah, it was a good day.
That's very sweet. And so you're doing that through the school districts
Yeah,
or specific
our elementary school here on Orcas Island. Yeah,
on Orca. Okay, that's that Orcas or
Orcas.
Orca.
Yeah,
Orcas.
it's named after an explorer, not the whale.
Okay.
I should say the
Okay.
Dulcimon.
All right. So I'm trying to think of the geology. I finally understood that many of the islands off of Seattle and in the Sound, they're not the San Juan Islands. They're like Whidbey and that. They're further south than where you are, right? Are you still considered to be in the Sound, or are you in the ocean now?
No, it's still in the inland sea.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a big area because you have um, the Olympic Peninsula, you have the Strait of Juan de Fuca, you have the San Juan Islands, and you have Vancouver Island, which is huge.
Yeah.
And so there's just really this narrow outlet, not that
Hmm.
narrow, but comparatively it is, the strait that takes you out to the ocean.
Right.
And because of the big island of Vancouver, the, all this other stuff is an inland sea. So you've got the Strait of Georgia, and they call it the Salish Sea nowadays.
The Sailor Sea?
Salish, Salish.
Salish. Salish, right. I have heard that word.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I were living where you were, I would be inspired by being near the water most of the time. Is that
Yeah,
something you find inspiring?
yeah, it is very inspiring. Yeah, especially when you can get out on it.
Oh, yeah. Do you kayak?
I have a paddleboard,
Oh, what?
a paddleboard
Oh, paddleboard. Oh, my goodness, you're adventurous.
where you the stand up kind. Yeah, it's really fun, and we have a boat too. We've done a lot of exploring
Hmm.
way out north, and so that's been exciting too.
Mm, wonderful. Wonderful. Um, Nature and being in a place and being part of a place can be so inspiring.
Hmm. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. But I've been inspired on many different types of places.
Hmm.
All up and down the coast, the Midwest. Wherever I go, I find some the people or the landscape to be inspiring.
Hmm. You've got a songwriter's heart. It's funny.
Yeah.
So what does it, do you have a typical week?
Well, these days it's pretty typical, more typical maybe than it used to be, in a different way. I teach on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays music, and
Hmm.
then in between my students, I'm practicing and working on my own music and booking so that I have gigs to play as well, and that's a big job. Promoting anything that I have, of course, and trying to write, and then in the fall and in the spring doing this whole school program thing. So it keeps me very busy.
In the fall and the spring, is that the festival that you're part of?
Well, in the fall and the spring, that's when I'm doing the outdoor education with the kids.
Right, right, right.
Because we don't do summer because they're out of school, and we don't do winter because it's just the weather's too inclement.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You have to take advantage of it up there, I know.
Yes, you do.
You really do. When it's wonderful, it's wonderful. When it's not, it's a good thing to have a fire. So, um, you were talking about an Oregon hammer dulcimer
Right?
festival or
Yeah,
camp. Tell us about that.
yeah. So that's coming up next week. And that's
Mm,
down in Sandy, Oregon, which isn't too far from Portland. It's about 45 minutes
mhm,
east of
mhm,
Portland, going towards Mount Hood. And we've been doing it for a number of years. I think only 1 year was taken off for COVID, first year, and then they started just doing smaller versions of it. But now we're sort of getting back to pre-COVID momentum with it. And it's a wonderful setting. It's on the Sandy River. This time of year, the rhododendrons are blooming, and as you said, everything's lush and green. We have two teachers coming from California. You may know them, Patty Amelot and Brenda Hunter.
mhm.
Brenda also plays harp, and Patty also plays piano. And they've been to the festival before, but not together. So they'll be there, and we're looking forward to that. And then myself, they call us the local boys. I'm the one female in the local boys group, and our friend, our friend Carl Thor from Portland, Vancouver, Washington, and Mick Doherty, who you probably know. He runs the whole thing. He's a great guy, really great musician. And then we also have someone who we haven't seen in a while, but Maria Alberno, who will come. She's Spanish. She's been living in the United States for some years now, but she plays hammer dulcimer. She calls it a salterium, though. And that's what they call it in Spain or in Mexico. And but she's also a jazz pianist.
Oh, okay.
She's always fun to have around because she's very experimental.
Wow, sounds like a fantastic grouping. How long are you all together?
It is from, well, we get there Wednesday night like the teachers do, and then but it starts on Thursday and it goes all the way through Sunday. And we have workshops, 3 workshops a day. Well, on Sunday there's only one, and Thursday there's only one, but
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday 3 workshops, and they're you have the open mic, and you have the concerts, and you have the jams, and
Classes?
the classes. Yep,
Yeah.
workshops. It's very packed. There's lots going on,
Yeah.
and lots
I
of
know that. Go ahead.
lots of visiting, and lots of eating of good food.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought of with these talks is it's like sitting down at lunch or dinner with someone you don't know and just kind of finding out about them and talking with them. Having gone to the Colorado Festival last weekend, I did a lot of that. I get halfway through lunch and I'd realize I had hardly eaten anything. I was so absorbed in our conversations. So there's nothing like that when you're in these things in person. And I'm sure all of your folks really look forward to it. How many people do you expect?
I'm not sure. I know it's smaller than it used to be, and I'm sure that Mick has shared the number, but I think the people who are actually coming to, as students are maybe 40.
Oh, that's not bad.
We're a little top heavy on the teachers, but that's okay.
But then you guys get to play with each other too.
Yeah,
you know.
and see each other.
Yeah, it's part of the draw.
It's called a rendezvous, actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
that gives you a sense that it's about the festival. It's about the workshops and learning, but it's also about just being able to see each other and hang out and have fun.
Yeah. So if people wanted to find out about that, what do they look at? What do they Google?
They Google Northwest Hammer Dulcimer.
Northwest Hammer Dulcimer. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been lovely. Is there anything that you would say to someone who had just gotten enchanted with the hammer dulcimer and how they could start with it?
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of dulcimers out there that aren't being played. So if you want to borrow one, or you want to look for one that's inexpensive, go on eBay, and or you can rent one if you have an acoustic music store near you, and see what you think, and just maybe get a lesson or two from somebody so you can get on the right track, or take a bunch of lessons. If you're a real self-starter, just take a few lessons and then go for it. But otherwise, sign up with one of the many hammer dulcimer players around the country, and
Yeah.
we're doing a great job these days online, because we have learned so much from the pandemic about how to do it.
Right. And you teach online, don't you?
I do.
You do. That's great. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Also, there's other online resources. I know that Ken Kolodner and Marilyn Michael
Yeah.
have some programs for hammer dulcimer players and learners. And also Dulcimer Crossing, which is Steve Yulberg, who does both hammer dulcimer and mountain dulcimer. And they're completely online 24/7 sort of thing. You sign up for a month and you take the lessons that you need, and you can do it at your own pace. So there are so many wonderful resources now that we never used to have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are
I really,
pre-recorded lessons that you can, yeah.
yeah. I mean, YouTube is one thing, but these ones like Ken and Mary Lynn's online lessons in Dulcimer Crossing, they've been curated and they're like a whole curriculum you can follow,
Right.
which is, like you said, putting that curriculum together is a teacher's job,
Mhm.
right? Making sure that you're helping your students follow appropriately,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Carolyn. My goodness, it's been almost 45 minutes.
Oh, wow. We just gabbed
Isn't it
on.
amazing how quickly it goes?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you so
should
much for having
hang.
me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to be doing a talk next week with Sally Rogers. Aubrey Atwater is going to interview Sally Rogers, and the week after that, Erin Mae is going to be speaking with Elsa, whose last name I can't remember now, but Erin will tell me. Come online and tell me, Erin. Who is the Elsa from
Elsa
London?
Bradley from the UK.
Right. Also Hammer Dulcimer. So
Wow.
you might want to tune into that.
Yeah.
This is available at this link that you found today. It's archived. We're going to be it is recorded. It'll be available for anybody who wants to watch at any time, as are all of our talks. And you can also find them at dulcimoon.com. So you can just kind of go through and like just pick out the hammer dulcimer players if you want.
Yeah. That sounds great.
I would understand.
It's a
Thank
wonderful
you
program we
again.
put together.
Yeah. I hope to meet you in person sometime.
Yeah.
I'm an Oregonian myself. That's where I was
Ah,
born. So and I'm basically on the West Coast too,
yes,
So,
you are.
all
Mhm.
right. Thanks
You.
so much. And we
Thank you
will
very much.
have a great spring.
You too. Take good care. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.